You ever go into a fragrance store and have that one fragrance that you were really excited about and then you sprayed it and you weren't so keen on it, so you left it. And then you got home and you were like, well, maybe I should probably have that fragrance. So you go back out, you smell it again, and you're like, no, I don't really want that. And then you learn a little bit more about that fragrance, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I need that in my collection. That's Risvelium for me. Today we're going to be reviewing Risvelium by Orto Parisi. If you know anything about the brand, you know that this is going to be an exciting fragrance. Stick around, I'll give you my 2 cents at the end, so let's get started. Hey everybody, this is My 2 Cents. My name is Sean. If you've already seen one of our videos, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. Today we're going to be reviewing a fragrance by Orto Parisi. This is called Risvelium. This is the newest release, and I have to say I was a little bit late in the game coming for Risvelium. I am a fan of this house. I'm a fan of the perfumer's work. So the same perfumer that does Orto Parisi fragrances is also the guy that does the fragrances at Nasomato. So if you're familiar with that brand, you sort of know what to expect. His name is Alessandro Gualtieri, and he is nothing if not an interesting character. So I'm a big fan of this house, Orto Parisi. I have several fragrances from this house. You can see behind me, I have 6 of them. This is the most recent addition to the collection. This is also their most recent release. This was released in 2025. And I have to say, I am sort of late in the game to collect this fragrance, as I mentioned in the opening. I didn't love it at first, but once you realize what it's trying to communicate, then the fragrance becomes a little bit more special. So Alessandro Gualtieri, who is the nose behind Orto Parisi, and like I said, Nasomato, is known for taking unconventional materials, think moss, think decaying woods, decaying materials, and elevating them and making them pleasant to the nose. This is something that few perfumers actually dare to do. A lot of times I feel like with Orto Parisi, it's sort of playing with your mind to make you think that you're smelling that because of the marketing that goes behind the fragrance, but I think that makes it even more exciting actually. That's actually something that adds to the brand. So the inspiration behind his fragrances, for example, you have Koyam, which is a leather fragrance. You've got Megamare, which is his take on an oceanic or aquatic fragrance. You've got Bergamask, which is a musk fragrance. You've got Veride, which is a night in the forest. Nobody really knew what to expect with Risvelium. There was a lot of great marketing that came out when this fragrance was announced. I'll show you a couple of the pictures here. There were pictures of forests, eyes, looked like there were ceremonies happening. There were accompanying videos that went with this that showed ceremonies happening. In the video, they even showed parts of all the other fragrances that had come out. It looked like a big dream, and nobody really knew what to expect. So as I said, I went to Liberty in London to experience this for the first time, and upon first smelling it, I wasn't in love with the fragrance. One of the things that Gualtieri is very careful about is that he does not release ever the notes that you're going to find in the fragrance. So that leaves it up to the wearer or the person buying it to figure out what they're smelling. There's a part of me that likes that and there's a part of me that doesn't. I like that you're able to take yourself on this journey and figure out what's trying to be communicated, but I also like knowing what to look for. It's Megamare, you think, big ocean. Okay, so this is going to be an aquatic scent, but nobody really knew what Risvelium meant. Even with the packaging, you can see there were 7 or 8 different packages. Each one of the Orto Parisi fragrances has a different sort of marker on the cap. This one is going to be an eye. I don't know if you can see it, but there were 8 different eyes, 7 or 8 different eyes of varying colors. The one I ended up with is pretty much the same color of my shirt. So I did a little bit of research and I found out that the concept behind this is supposed to draw inspiration from an ayahuasca experience. Ayahuasca is a ritualistic brew found in South and Central American countries, and it's connected to spiritual awakening. There are ceremonies that people go down there to do for 3 nights, 4 nights. During these ceremonies, the participants will partake in a celebratory or ceremonial brew, which is made out of a hallucinogenic root or vine. I'm not really sure what it is. And this fragrance for Gualtieri is supposed to mirror what he felt or what he experienced while he was in South America or Central America, I'm not sure what it was, going through the ayahuasca experience, without saying psychedelic perfume. So as I said, the notes are never released by Gualtieri, so it leaves it up to the wearer to identify what it is that they're smelling. There are notes on Fragrantica, and as I always say, take the notes on Fragrantica with a grain of salt. So I'm going to list for you here what it says is on Fragrantica. The top notes are listed as grapefruit, bergamot. In the middle, you've got blackcurrant and pineapple, and in the base, you have musk, ambroxan, and amber. So let's go ahead and smell it and see what we agree with and what we disagree with. All right, yeah, right off the bat, the first thing that I noticed when I smelled it the first time, and I still get it is a huge burst of grapefruit. If you are not a fan of grapefruit smelling fragrances, this is definitely not going to be for you. I don't love grapefruit, I have to say. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But for whatever reason, in this fragrance, it works. The grapefruit on the top is accompanied by bergamot, so you've got this huge citrus burst in the beginning. There's something else on the top, too, that you smell. There's almost a metallic note. It's not listed. Gualteria, as I said, doesn't mention them. You can almost smell something buzzing, something metallic in it. In the heart of the fragrance, you have pineapple and black currant, so it's a very fruity fragrance, mixing up with the grapefruit on the top note. It's very, very bright at the opening, I have to say that. For a fragrance that's supposed to mirror such a dark experience as the ayahuasca ceremony, which takes place generally at night, there's a very, very bright opening to this. As this continues to dry down on me, the base notes are a musky, woody, ambery scent. That probably is what I'm getting, where I'm getting the metallic note. The ambroxan sort of makes it more modern smelling, but there's almost a mineral depth to it, and I think that that may be what I was referring to. Maybe it's not necessarily metallic at the top, but there's a mineral depth. It sort of feels like earth mixed with fruits. It feels like a jungle experience, and that's exactly what you get from the advertisement when the fragrance was first coming out. In the fruits, there's almost a slightly fermented note to it. Without becoming too sour, it smells like something has gone a little bit sour, but not over the top. It actually balances it out quite nicely with the woody and mossy notes in the base. It's almost like you've been lying on the jungle floor. You smell the fruits, you smell the trees, you can almost smell the whole earthy vibe to this fragrance. I would say this is probably a fall, winter, spring type fragrance. In high heat, it may be a little bit overwhelming. It dries down different than it is when it starts. Like I said, it's very, very strong right out of the bottle. You smell a burst of citrus. It's that grapefruit smell over the top of absolutely everything, but you start to lose the grapefruit and the scent sort of starts to become more into its own. This is something that I would wear all day. I would wear this in the morning, I would wear it in the afternoon, I would wear it at night. It's not going to be a beast mode fragrance like Megamare or a couple of the other Orto Parisi, or Gualteria I should say, fragrances. This is not a beast mode fragrance. Right out of the bottle, you get a burst of grapefruit, and that's very, very strong, but then as it dries down, it sort of loses its potency. As for the projection on this is going to be noticeable within the first 4 hours, I would say, maybe 4 to 6 hours. It's going to be noticeable at more than an arm's length at the beginning, and then after maybe 2 hours, it's going to be noticeable only in your bubble. If somebody were to come up to you, you're probably going to get used to smelling it on yourself. You're not going to be smelling this the entire day on you. You may need to reapply. But if you keep smelling the area where you sprayed, you'll smell this for 6 to 8 hours on your skin, I would say. I'm trying to think of what kind of a fragrance this is trying to be, because it's not trying to be a fruity fragrance. This is not trying to be a woody fragrance. It's not trying to be a combination of the two like Aventus. There's absolutely no Aventus vibe here. But this is sort of almost like trying to be sort of an earthy, ethereal, heady fragrance like a patchouli without actually having patchouli in it. It's almost like patchouli has done ayahuasca and now goes by a different name, that sort of vibe. This is not going to be one of those fragrances where everybody's going to come up to you and ask you what you're wearing. Even if you did tell them it's Risvelium, they'd probably say, oh, that's great, and probably just walk away. It's definitely a complex fragrance, which is the case with most of Gualtieri's fragrances. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something that you can just spray and say, I'm going to go about my day. You're wearing this one with intent. This is something that you're going to wear because you want to be in a specific mood for the day. And now let me give you my 2 cents. This fragrance is not going to be a people pleaser, as is the case with most of Gualtieri's fragrances, especially in the Orto Parisi line. You wear these fragrances with intent. You wear Megamare not because you want to smell light and aquatic. You wear that fragrance because you want to make a statement. You wear Veride because you want a very strong petrichor fragrance. You want to smell like the forest floor. This is much the same. This is not trying to be pretty. This is not trying to be sexy. This is trying to say something, and what it says is pretty bold. It's a strange fragrance. It's not something that I think people are going to fall in love with right off the bat. What I like most about this fragrance is the fact that I had to do my own research before I came to actually appreciate the fragrance for what it is. Right out of the bottle, if you don't know what's trying to be communicated, it sort of feels like it's all over the place. You're getting citrus, you're getting fruit, you're getting wood. It's all over the place, and it doesn't seem to have any cohesion. But once you understand what the market is, you add the marketing to that. If you add the marketing to that, the jungle with the ceremonies and the gorillas and the eyes, you don't know what's trying to be communicated. But once you learn what it is that Gualtieri was trying to express in this fragrance, I think it becomes even more charming. That actually makes the fragrance more interesting. And that's all part of the marketing, and that's probably the genius behind this fragrance. So with this fragrance, Gualtieri's done it again. He's done weird, he's done wild, but still it's absolutely unforgettable. Is this the fragrance that you're going to pick up at the mall and say, that's the one I'm going home with? Absolutely not. This isn't for beginners, but if you're ready for it, it's actually very rewarding to wear. Is it expensive? Yeah, for what you get, I think this is 60 ml or 50 ml. It's about $200. But when you think of what you get, these fragrances are complex, they last, and they're unique. So I think it's worth every dollar that you spend on it. So yes, I do recommend Risvelium. I recommend that you try it, just like most of the cases that I've reviewed. I recommend you try it, get a sample of it, put it on your skin, see how you react to it. And I would suggest giving it 2 or 3 different wears, because right at the first time, you're probably not going to want to come back to it immediately. So give it 2 or 3 chances before you make a decision on it. So that was my 2 cents on Orto Parisi Risvelium. Once again, my name is Sean. Thanks for watching. If you are a fan of no fluff fragrance reviews that get directly to the point and you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, please. That'll really, really help me out. Also, if you liked this review, give it a thumbs up. If you like Orto Parisi, or if you've had an ayahuasca experience and you have smelled this fragrance, let me know, write a comment. Let me know what your favorite Gualtieri fragrances are. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next episode.